In this video, we are going to talk about everything you need to know about Uganda. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Uganda is a landlocked country in East Africa bordered by Kenya, Sudan, Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Tanzania. It is the world's most populous landlocked country. Lake Victoria takes up a significant portion of the country's southern region. The capital city of Uganda is Kampala. In Uganda, humans lived as hunter-gatherers for thousands of years before Bantu speakers began migrating to the country around 1,700 to 2,300 years ago. Uganda obtained its independence from the United Kingdom in 1962. Its official languages are Swahili and English, but it is also spoken in a variety of other languages. Uganda is a member of the African Union, the Commonwealth of Nations, the East African Community, and the Organization of the Islamic Conference, among other organizations and organizations. Uganda is a country in East Central Africa that borders the Congo River. Uganda, which is roughly the size of Great Britain, is home to a diverse range of ethnic groups. Uganda's cosmopolitan capital, Kampala, is a verdant city whose plan includes dozens of small parks and public gardens as well as an attractive promenade along the shore of Lake Victoria, Africa's largest freshwater lake. The English language and Christianity help to bring these diverse peoples together in Kampala, the city's cosmopolitan capital. Its East African neighbors, Kenya and Tanzania, are united by the Swahili language, which they speak together. Uganda is like something out of a fairy tale. Sir Winston Churchill, who visited the country during its years under British administration and described it as the Pearl of Africa, stated that climbing up a railway instead of a beanstalk leads to a beautiful new world at the top. As a result, Uganda is home to a diverse range of habitats, ranging from the towering volcanic mountains of the country's eastern and western borders to the thickly forested swamps of the Albert Nile River and the tropical rainforests of the Middle Plateau. As a result of the abundant fertility of the land, Ugandan coffee has emerged as a mainstay of the country's agricultural economy, as well as a favorite among coffee enthusiasts throughout the world. On October 9, 1962, Uganda was granted formal independence from the United Kingdom. Because of its artificial and arbitrary borders, which were defined by Europeans in the late 19th century, it contained two fundamentally different sorts of societies: the highly centralized Bantu kingdoms of the south, and the more decentralized Nilotic and Sudanic peoples of the north. For many years, the country's tragic history of political turmoil, combined with environmental concerns and the devastation caused by an AIDS pandemic that swept the country, hampered progress and prosperity. Uganda, on the other hand, was ruled by a popularly elected civilian government at the dawn of the 21st century, and the country enjoyed political stability, had set a precedent for combating the AIDS epidemic that threatened to overwhelm the continent, and had one of the fastest-growing economies in Africa. History. Bantu-speaking people first arrived in the area roughly 1,700 to 2,300 years ago, having moved from Central and Western Africa. They brought with them not only iron-working skills, but also political and social values as well. The Empire of Kidera, which existed in the 14th and 15th centuries, was the world's first formal organization. The Bunyoro-Kitara, the Buganda, and the Ankole were the tribes that came after them. From the north, Nilotic people, including the Ateker and the Luo, began to arrive in Uganda around the year 120 AD. Invading the Bunyoro areas, some Luo tribespeople became merged with the Bantu. This marked the beginning of the Babi-Ito dynasty. The Luo migration came to a stop in the 16th century. The Ateker migrated to other parts of Uganda, where some of them joined forces with the Luo people north of Lake Kyoga. Arab traders arrived from the East African coast in the 1830s, and they were followed by British explorers in the 1860s, who were hunting for the source of the Nile. Later in the 19th century, Protestant and Catholic missionaries arrived in the area. The area was granted a charter by the British East Africa Company in 1888, and it was designated as a permanent British protectorate in 1894. 20th century. In 1914, Uganda's final protectorate was established. Between 1900 and 1920, a sleeping sickness epidemic killed approximately 250,000 individuals. Uganda won independence from the United Kingdom in 1962. That year, the first elections were held, and an alliance of two parties, the Kabaka Yeka (KY) and the Uganda People's Congress (UPC) won UPC. Prime Minister Milton Obote was elected. As president, Uganda King Edward Mutiza II served in a ceremonial capacity. Vice president was William Wilberforce Nadiop, a Kayabazinga chief. In 1966, during a power struggle between Obote's administration and the king, the UPC-controlled parliament altered the constitution to remove the ceremonial president and vice president. Uganda became a republic in 1967 when a new constitution eliminated the old kingdoms. Obote was declared the leader despite the lack of any formal elections. Idi Amin toppled Obote and gained power in 1971. Amin governed Uganda for the following 8 years, killing 300,000 Ugandans. His actions wreaked havoc on the economy. Amin's tenure came to an end after the Uganda-Tanzania War in 1979. General Tito Okello, who governed for 6 months until being toppled by the National Resistance Army, deposed Obote again in 1985. NRA. Yoweri Museveni, the party's leader, was elected president and remains in office. In the 1990s, Museveni was lauded by the West as part of a new generation of African leaders. He drew the country into the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, civil war and other regional wars. Thousands have been murdered or displaced as a result of the hostilities in northern Uganda. Government. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is the president of Uganda at the moment. The president is both the head of state and the head of government. The vice president, Gilbert Bucklinya, and the prime minister, Amama Mbabazi, are both appointed by the president. Political parties were barred from operating in 1986 as a result of sectarian conflict. Non-partisan organizations continued to exist and were referred to as movements. In 2005, a constitutional referendum overturned the prohibition on political parties. At the same time, the president's term limit of 2 terms was removed from the books. Geography. Uganda, which is located on the East African Plateau, has an average elevation of 1,100 meters above sea level. The central region of the country is dominated by Lake Kyoga. The majority of the country is contained inside the Nile Basin. After draining Lake Victoria to Lake Kyoga, the Victoria Nile continues northward until it reaches Sudan. The Turkwel River drains a small area on Uganda's eastern border that is drained by the Nile. The area around Lake Kyoga serves as a dividing line between speakers of Nilotic languages in the north and Bantu language speakers in the south. The climate is equatorial, however it is not consistent throughout the year. The southern regions receive more rainfall. In the northern portions of Uganda, there is a dry season that lasts for several months. The Karamoja region, located in the northeast, has the driest climate in the country. The Rwenzori Mountains, located in the southwest, get strong rains throughout the year. The presence of Lake Victoria towards the south prevents the temperature in the region from fluctuating much. The southern region contains the majority of the country's major cities, including the capital, Kampala, and the port city of Entebbe. Districts, counties, and kingdoms. Uganda is divided into 4 administrative zones, each with 80 districts: northern, eastern, central, and western. Each of these districts is subdivided into a number of counties. In 2006, 8 new districts were created. Sub-counties, parishes, and villages are some of the subdivisions that exist in addition to counties. In addition, there are 6 Bantu kingdoms that have some degree of cultural autonomy. The Ankole, Toro, Bunyoro, Busoga, Buganda, and Rwenzururu are among the tribes represented. Economy. Poor economic policies and instability caused the economy to suffer for decades. This left Uganda as one of the poorest countries in the world. The country has a number of natural resources, including sizable cobalt and copper deposits. There is oil and natural gas, but these are largely untapped. Inflation has subsided. It was 240% in 1987, 5.1% in 2003, and 6.2% in 2013. The economy grew from 1990 to 2001 due to investment in infrastructure, improved production incentives, reduced inflation, improved security, and return of entrepreneurs. Recently, the country's involvement in DRC's wars, governmental corruption, and failure to continue to implement reforms could cause the economic progress to end. In 2000, Uganda was included in foreign debt relief packages with total $2 billion. While there has been gains in the economy, with GDP per capita at $1,500. In Uganda, overall growth in the economy has not always reduced poverty. A stock market started in Uganda in 1996, but it is primarily a vehicle for the government to use to privatize industry. Some equities have been listed. Demographics. There are many different ethnic groups in Uganda. 40 languages are used regularly. After independence, English became the official language. Luganda is the most widely spoken language and is mostly used by Baganda people in urban Kampala and the surrounding regions. Runyankore and Lusoga are other commonly used languages. The second official language, approved in 2005, is Swahili. This language is important in the north, but not the south. The police and military use it often, which may result from disproportionate recruitment from northern areas. The current estimated population is 45,323,682. Religion. Christians make up 84% of the country's population. Roman Catholic was the most common denomination, followed by the Anglican Church. Islam is practiced by 12% of Ugandans. Only 1% of the population follows traditional religions. There are a small number of people practicing Judaism and the Baha'i faith. Health. Uganda's actions against HIV have been a success. In the 1980s, over 30% of Ugandans were HIV positive, dropping significantly to 7.2%. Life expectancy at birth for females is 55.86 and 53.1 for males. Infant mortality is 60.82 per 1,000 births. Sports. Football is Uganda's most popular sport, but cricket is gaining in popularity. The Ugandan rugby team has also been successful. Several rally champions are from Uganda, and the country staged a round of the African Rally Championship. Education. The literacy rate is 73.2%. There are both public and private universities, the largest of which is the Makerere University outside of Kampala. Human rights. Since the 1980s, respect for human rights has advanced. Areas of remaining concern are abuses by the rebel Lord's Resistance Army and the Ugandan Army in the northern parts of the country. Approximately 1.4 million have been displaced. Security organizations still use torture. Opposition members are arrested and beaten, including members of parliament. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.